She insisted on taking over the lease, but now she's drowning in rent. Did she choose this struggle, or did something else play out that made this decision a disaster? My ex-girlfriend, a 22-year-old woman, and I, a 25-year-old man, ended our relationship at the end of April. When we broke up, I agreed to let her take over the lease for our old apartment. I left by July 1st, securing a new place for myself. From the moment we discussed living separately, she was adamant about staying. She didn't want to face the hassle of a new deposit, moving all her belongings, and the rest of it. However, I warned her that it might not be a wise move financially. The rent was nearly 65% of her income. Doing the math, she'd be left with about $200 spare each month at best, compared to my situation where rent was a lean 35% of my income, leaving me with well over $1,000 extra. I offered to help her find a cheaper option, maybe a basement or a studio that could manageably take 35 to 45% of her pay, but she refused. The studio, according to her, was too small for her stuff and her cat. She didn't want to live in someone else's household again, fearing she'd be controlled. A roommate was out of the question too, as she'd had bad experiences in the past.
Going back to her family wasn't an option either. They were 3 hours away in a remote area.
Despite the warnings, she took over the lease. After her first rent payment, she started complaining. It seemed she'd be living paycheck to paycheck because of her choice. She was now angry, thinking we should have continued to live together and attempted to mend our relationship to make things easier financially. But was it really my responsibility to make life easier for her after the breakup? I had advised her, I offered solutions, and now she had to manage the consequences of her decision. For clarity, my name was no longer on the lease. She was approved for a full takeover starting July 1st. The place was entirely her responsibility now, but just how did the community weigh in on this situation? Let's find out. Can you believe this response?
You are not the jerk. She has unrealistic expectations if she thinks she can blame you for her decision.
It's her problem, not yours. Especially with her suggestion to reconcile just to make things easier for herself. Her choice was clear. This one is going to sting. No jerk here. She made her bed, now she has to lie in it. You offered help, and she declined. One commenter said exactly what everyone was thinking. You warned her. You tried to help her see the reality, but she refused to listen. Now she has to deal with her choices, not you. Cut the cord, you've moved on.
It's not your problem anymore. It seems like everyone agrees this was a storm of her own making.
If stories like this grab your attention, make sure you stay tuned for more tangled tales just like it by hitting that subscribe button. And if you're itching for more drama, I just covered the story of a betrayal by a colleague who wouldn't stop using a certain desk. You'll find the link in the description.